Peter Handscomb, it's a tough day at the office for Middlesex. Obviously battling the weather as well tonight, coming back out. Middlesex desperately trying to scramble something at the end, but ultimately it's a batting collapse that's cost them again.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious where we've gone wrong in this game. Get bowled out for 100 at any stage, at any wicket, you're going to be struggling to win many games from there. So, yeah, it is disappointing. A disappointing day. Day 3 is the moving day, the day that you want to try and set up the game for a win, and unfortunately for us, it went the other way.
You've dropped into this in the third round. It's been the way since the first game of the season, hasn't it? It was the third day it went wrong here against Somerset as well, a couple of third days since as well. And it's been those second innings collapses. What have you made of it from your perspective coming in? Because obviously it's something that Stuart Law's been working hard to try and fix.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. I think cricket's a game that kicks you when you're down a little bit, and sometimes when something happens once or twice, and it can get in your mind a little bit and then start playing funny buggers with you. So when it happens a couple of times, it tends to happen a few more times before you can try and get a grasp of it. I think need to acknowledge what's happened and happening, and understanding that sometimes that's part of the game, but ultimately we need to find a way as a batting unit to gel together, help our mate up at the other end, and just find a way to get out of these situations.
Do you think the season as a whole caught up with the team in this last couple of games perhaps? Because certainly the first 4 games, there were points at 2 Somerset games. Middlesex will feel they should have won it. Do you think that, like you say, mentally perhaps in this last couple of games, that has just, because obviously these are 2 strong sides that have come up against as well, so when there is that little bit of doubt, that little bit of lack of confidence, is that a factor that's played?
I think it also speaks volumes of the opposition as well. We've been in positions, especially against Somerset, where we could have won, but the opposition is allowed to have a say as well, and they're allowed to play well, and I think that showed that their experience and their belief as a unit probably outweighed ours on certain days, and just played better when the game was on the line. So with a young group and a few guys that we're starting to play, it's a tough initiation for them, but they'll be better for it being in these situations, and then hopefully be able to learn from them and be stronger after it.
How do you as captain and the coach Stuart Law approach it from here in terms of, there's Stuart Law's told us, Stephen Eskenazi, the first 2 games of the season, said there's been honest words, there's been tears in the dressing room. Is it beyond that at this point to be stripping like that and going raw, or is it a building process?
I think it's a building process. It's not something that changes straight away. You don't just do one thing and all of a sudden you're winning games and destroying opposition. So I think it's going to be a slow process. We're not going to be able to turn this around straight away, but it's all about taking little positive steps, and anything that we see as a positive, trying to keep rebuilding that, and understanding that there are going to be some bad days, but hopefully if we focus on the positives, there's going to be more of them in the games to come, and hopefully that brings a couple of wins.
On a personal note, you looked like you were very positive out there today, and some of them went crashing away, didn't they, to the boundary? It looked like a pelter that got you there.
Yeah, it was a nice ball that got me in the end, and that was a bit of a mindset change for me again today. It was sort of what I was speaking about, just trying to be positive, and go out there, and if the ball's in my zone, whether it's ball 1 or whatever, ball 10, you're still trying to hit it, still got to score, because as we can see on some of these wickets, there's going to be a ball with your name on it, so ultimately you've got to get as many runs as you can before that ball comes, and hopefully waits a little while.
Is the perhaps best place to go after this to a London derby against Surrey? Obviously that's the win for Middlesex so far, that 7 for 25. It will bring back good memories for the team of that performance here. Is that perhaps the best place that you could go? Because as well, it is a young side. There were changes made for this one, and as you said, it's not a time really for ripping things up and throwing things around, is it? It's a time for building, and that's what you'll want to do going into that game. Yeah,
exactly. I think if we can keep building and keep getting games into these young players, build their experience, as a group, ultimately they'll start to come through together and be able to work and bounce ideas off each other, because they would have been in these situations before, and that'll bring experience, and hopefully guys like myself and Mertz and Robson can help those young boys along the way, and help their game get stronger and more experience a little bit quicker. But ultimately, it's not time to panic. It's a time just to keep looking at the positives and keep building, as a team and as a unit.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, guys.